I'm your girl, Nye.
And I'm your girl, Ray. And this is Cuffed to the Culture,
where we stay with hella opinions,
hella intellect,
hella laughs,
and we're hella black.
Woo!
We're here.
We're here.
Okay, Nye. Let me see your shirt. What you got on?
Ski-wee.
Oh, Lord. I too have on my Howard shirt. I wonder why. You know we went to Howard, the best HBCU. I don't want to hear Spelmanites. We are the number one HBCU, period.
Yes. Howard University in Washington, D.C.
Okay. AKA where we have so many alumni. I won't even waste y'all time, but we would have had the first president had y'all voted right. But I'm not going to get irritated today.
But we did have the first Black vice president, the first woman vice president. So
you're right.
Shout out to my profile.
Period. Pop it.
Shout out to my profile.
So, Nye, tell me, like, why did you choose Howard?
Yes, ironically enough, I was kind of like talking to this guy in high school, and how he convinced me to apply. He was like, well, you're giving all these PWIs your application fees. You might as well apply to some HBCUs. So I applied to Howard. I was not thinking about going to HBCU at all. My parents went to Morris Brown, so they weren't really pushing it on me. For whatever reason, ironically enough, they were just like, go where you want to go. And yeah, once he could, and I was like, you know what? You're right. I do need to apply to an HBCU. I applied, and then they let me know I was eligible for a scholarship. And so that's when I started doing a lot more research about Howard. And of course, like I said, I knew about HBCUs. My parents went to an HBCU. And that's when I was able to say, oh, I'm obsessed with this school. I need to go here. Yeah. So yeah, that's what got me there.
That's it. Once you start looking into Howard's legacy, you just fall in love. At least I had the same experience as well.
I was gonna say, for all my OG Bison, I watched like hours and hours of Bison Code. And that's for our listeners. That's the YouTube like videos that was like talking all about Howard campus life and what people do on the campus. I was obsessed.
It was beautiful. They had so many episodes. Did you ever see the Same Girl Howard Bison remix? That was phenomenal to me. I don't know why that one sticks in my head, but a couple of older Howard members, HU16 and crew, they did like a remix of Same Girl, you know, Usher and Bleep. And it was a Bison version. It was so cute. Yeah. I was like, they're so creative. They're so creative. I have to get there. But for me, I actually was assigned Howard as a school to research in like maybe 5th or 6th grade when we were doing like research on colleges. And from there, I was obsessed. So shout out to Mr. Campbell if you're listening. Thank you for assigning my school. Because after that, I was like, I only want to go there. But funny enough, once I got to high school, I feel like around junior or senior year is when the Trayvon Martin's case happened.
Yes.
And I knew then, I said, I had to go to an HBCU. I thought about LSU for a bit because I really wanted to just be in Louisiana. I love like that culture. But then once that happened, I was like, I'm going to an HBCU. And yeah, so I just started applying to them all.
And you quite literally, I was about to say that because that was another piece of it. High school, we were in high school when Trayvon Martin got killed. And so for me, that was such a turning point. Like, of course, I'm from Georgia. Like, of course, I knew racism existed. Of course, I experienced racism. That was never new to me. But Trayvon really radicalized our age group, in my opinion.
Yeah, and absolutely.
That was a huge eye opener as to how do I want to spend the next 4 years? Do I want to spend the next 4 years of my life in classes arguing about Trayvon like I'm doing right now? No.
You're quite literally hit the nail on the head. Once I started hearing, and I went to a predominantly Black and Hispanic school. Once I started hearing some of my non-Black like students talking about him like he was a dog and trying to justify what happened, I knew I needed to be around Black excellence and just Blackness overall. I want to retire the Black excellence title because I get sick of it, but I needed to be around Black people.
Quite literally, one of my teachers said out of her mouth, well, why was he in that neighborhood? And I'm just like, and again, very similarly to you, I went to a predominantly Black high school, predominantly minority high school, I would say. And hearing her say that as we're sitting in a class with boys who are Trayvon Martin age, build, height, weight, all of the things, Howard, I had to go to Howard. After all of that, it was like, I'm not dealing with this for the rest of these 4. I'm not about to deal with this. Why? For what?
And then you add on to that Howard's like pop and legacy and like hip hop and culture. And right around that time, I was obsessed with Drake. So he went and performed at homecoming. I said, that's where I'm going. And to this day, I'm like, dang, if I could have went back to any like old Howard event, it probably would have been Drake crashing at York Fest.
To that gif of him and just in the Howard with the red. Yeah. Come on. My school is goated.
Top tier, baby. Undefeated. You will never beat our homecoming.
Yeah, goated.
The legacy, the history, the pop culture, cultural references. Like, you can't talk about a facet of the world without a Howard University Bison being a part of it. Like,
come on. Taraji P. Henson. Chadwick Boseman. Thurgood Marshall.
Thank you. Felicia Rashad. And Debbie Allen, my Houston sisters.
Come on. Diddy.
And he didn't graduate. We can't claim him.
We don't claim him.
Of course. We didn't say her name, Kamala Harris.
Madam Vice President of these United States, okay?
Should have been our president, but neither here nor there.
Fun fact, Click, me and Ray, before inauguration, we had our Airbnb picked out for DC. Like, we just knew. We just
knew. And I had a mink coat in my cart. Like, I was ready to step, because if I'm coming to see my Bison sister get sworn in, I'm stepping.
Come on. I truly envisioned a nasty white fur, and I wanted a pink and green scarf. I had it in my head.
Oh, you was going to come hard.
I had the vision. Okay?
Well, maybe 2028.
Come on, sister, please. But all right, Cuff Click, it's your girl 9.
And it's your girl Ray. Welcome back to Cuff to the Culture, where we stay with hella opinions,
hella intellect,
hella laughs,
and we're hella black. Howard Black, okay?
Howard Black, Cuff Click. All right, Cuff Click. So you've heard us talk a little bit about our Howard experience. It had its highs, it had its lows. Baby, it ran me through the mud. And one of them ways was dating at an HBCU. All my ladies, if you feel me, help me sing it out.
Some of our girls, we do know quite a few classmates who did get married. So it wasn't the trenches completely. But it did. Yeah, but it was kind of the trenches at some points, for sure.
Did you see the photo with the girl, the football player with the cheerleader on the shoulder? That was a Howard dream.
Howard dream. And I don't know how many people it came into fruition for. But there are quite a few marriages from our HBCUs. But welcome back to Cuffed to Connection. This is our segment where we talk about dating, relationships, and how we're all trying to figure out love in all of its forms. So lover girls, this is for you. And today we're getting into dating at an HBCU.
Woo! Child. Can we call it dating? There are one of the days. I'm going to start being negative.
Exactly. Okay, so I have a question for you, Ray. What were the classic dating archetypes on the yard for you? Who came in your DMs? Was it the frat boy, the activist, the DJ, okay? The athlete, the super senior, because there was quite a few of those. But yeah,
y'all will be dealt with.
Who was in your DMs? Who was hitting you up? Who were you sneaking through the valley to go see on those late nights?
Never sneaking. I'll walk through the front door. Man, I'm laughing because even though I talk about it now, I had some times. Like, I've had a little bit of dating experience with all of the above. But my favorite, my fun, if I put too much of my business out, the DJ era of mine was so fun.
No, dating in HBCU DJ is you get into all the popping stuff. Like you and your friends are coming to the front of the line. Hey, can you come get us?
Right.
And you're getting in.
And no ticket. Give me such a literally ego chest out. Oh, come on, y'all. We good. 1, 2, 3. Stay with me.
And one thing about at least at Howard, I don't know about other HBCUs, but like for us, no shade to the athletes, we did not care about our sports. I know at PWIs, like a lot of times that's who gets the attention, the guys who do the athletes and the athletics. Girl at Howard, it was party promoters, it was frat boys, it was DJs, people who could give you access to like social capital. And by social capital, I just mean parties. True.
Yeah, getting in for free.
Literally. And a good jungle juice.
Yeah, I mean, I love our Bison football teams or all of our sports teams, but we weren't really winning like that. So maybe that contributes to why people weren't like fawning out. I did date a football player though.
My go-to archetype when I was in college, let me not say go-to, because there was definitely a lot of the others in between.
Right,
But
we sprinkle.
the ones I had the most fun with were like low key, not super clouded up, love just
Mhm.
like a guy laid back in the background, not doing too much.
Which is so you right now in your beautiful relationship. However, I have yet to
Yes.
learn that full lesson, my sister, and that's my problem because I was always going for the mid-C, like in this on the scene type of
Mm-mm.
guy. Like I love a charismatic man, and sometimes that has gotten me into some trouble. But post like
No,
25, when that frontal cortex developed, I've started veering away.
I was gonna say no shade at all, but like I'm the star. I don't need you. I don't need him
Oh,
shimmying in a circle in front of a bunch of people. I don't
mm,
want you
oh,
popping and getting. I don't want you looking at the cameras, neck rolling at the camera. I'm okay. Not
let's
my
be
vibe.
clear. I'm still the star. But when I say charismatic, I'm not talking about the like dancers in the circles. And when I mean like the Mitzi guy, I mean like the SGA president, the one who has the popular
Okay.
internship, like that type of vibe.
And for me, maybe it's the Scorpio Venus in me. Maybe I'm a little too crazy. That brings too many other women. And
Mm,
that's another thing about an HBCU campus is you are sister wifing probably at some point, right? And if you
yeah.
get the SGA president, the super frat mixy dudes, the DJs, the party promoters, even some of the athletes, okay? Too many people know you. I don't like that.
Sister, we went to Howard, and most HBCUs have way more women than men, so it didn't matter how low key or in the books he was. He had a roster of at least five on go that will pull up to the towers if you test it.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
very true. That's very true. Did you have any sister wife
uh,
situations happen?
I did not that I know of. Actually, maybe it was a time there was some overlap between me and a girl and a guy, but I personally, because I wasn't ever in a relationship in college, I was really just having
Mm.
fun and just enjoy the vibe and going to school to get my degree, focusing on my books. I really didn't care, and she hated me, and I was like, sister, you got them on Tuesday, Wednesday. I see them Thursday. Like you 9 to 5 on the weekend. It's okay.
And when it is over, I need to ask you exactly who this is about because you've
You
never told me
know what it's
this.
about.
No,
You
I didn't.
know what it's
Okay.
about.
I'm trying to think. Let me think about any sister wife situations for me. Definitely, I had a freshman year boyfriend situationship that just, again, girls, if we have any young cuff click listening and you're about to go to
Uh-huh.
college, just be single that first year, girl. Enjoy
Uh-huh.
yourself, especially freshman year. Like you have the rest of that time to try to find somebody or be with somebody. Enjoy freshman year for what it is. Get your grades done, all of the things, because a boy can
Mhm.
come in and ruin your life. But that's what happened to me. There were so many sister wives. And the
Mhm.
the most embarrassing part, and I can say this now because I'm grown and over it and have done the therapy and the work. But the most embarrassing part was they didn't like him how I liked him. So that's so
Mm.
embarrassing when you're the one who loves him and the rest of them are just like, girl, we don't care. Like that's so embarrassing. That's so humiliating. It was just so humiliating to be the one to be the one who just really liked him and he just was not about me. And I mean, what I am grateful for and glad about is I went through that freshman year of college when I was like young and didn't have no real
Mhm.
money or any real things going on. So I am
Yeah.
glad it happened my freshman year, but it did impede on me just having a good time and kind of wilding out freshman year. Because I
Uh,
was so obsessed with him.
that was the best time to wild
Gag,
out.
throw
Yeah.
up. This is how I feel.
Literally same sister. But you live, you learn,
Yeah.
and we had to move on.
And the rest of the years I had a good time. I'll
Yeah.
leave it there. I
Leave
turned
it
up.
there. That's okay.
I was single the rest of my time at Howard University after that situation. Let's just say
Exactly.
that.
But yeah, girl. I mean, you just live and you learn and you grow so much in those
Mhm.
short 4 years. But after graduation, like, how do you think Howard Man raised your standards, or did they complicate them? Be
Mm,
honest.
I will say I've always been, as I've said in our first episode, I've always been a very ambitious, driven girl. And
Mhm.
one thing I had not really encountered was when I was in high school and dating and things like that was a guy who was just as ambitious or just as driven. So
Mhm.
Howard did teach me that there are men out here who have dreams and goals and morals, okay?
Mhm.
They stand for something. They they care about the Black community. They care
Mhm.
about the community they're in. They do volunteer. Like, as much as we are joking about frat guys and the experiences about them on campus, them fraternities do the work. Like, let's be very clear. They do the work. They support their community. They go out and do what they need to do for young Black men in the community. And so Howard definitely raised my standard of what I expect from a man. Like, I expect for men to be morally aligned with me. I expect them to be equally yoked as far as a job or career or aspirations towards that. Yeah, so Howard definitely raised the bar 100%. And then dating, I took 100% from Howard what I learned about what a man could be and a Black man could be and a good Black man could be. And I translated it into real life. And my man graduated from an HBCU as well, not Howard. Not the best, but an HBCU nonetheless, and a really
We
good
don't
one.
slide them forward. It's all right. It's all right. Oh, yeah. I think what you said is very poignant. Like, I think being around those men that just had a vision and had a plan and wanted to execute it has definitely shifted my standards a bit. I always was attracted to ambition. Very much wanted to be a power couple type of girl, even in high school. And
Mm.
I went to performing arts high school, and at the time, me and my man were leading. Oh, but once I got to college, it kind of just grew and expanded from there. So even now, as I'm dating in California, I'm like, I struggle a bit because there's a certain aspect of the HBCU culture that I feel like non-grads don't understand. And
Yeah.
that's not to say, they don't understand ambition or working hard or something, but it's just something about an HBCU that is ingrained in you that maybe I can't put into words right now. But it don't stop no motion. It's just
Yeah.
when I think about my dream marriage, it does come with the HBCU partner.
I completely agree with what you say. And I think the thing that we can't put into words about HBCU grads, but as HBCU grads, it's lifting as we climb, right? It's making sure the people behind us can still get in the door. Like, we're
Hmm.
kicking the door down and now we're laying towel for y'all to walk behind us, after
Yeah.
us, into the industries, into the spaces. And sometimes, of course, I don't know everyone or all people who went to a PWI, but I don't always feel similarly in corporate spaces, at least that I've been in, that they do
Mhm.
the same all the time or as much as we do.
Yeah, I would also agree with that. I've had the same experience, and I'm sure
Yeah.
there are some that are, well, I would say post the whole racial awakening of summer 2020, I will say I had started having better experiences, but with that very same person, there was still a level of competition. I need to be the best and only in the room, when
Mm,
with other women who have, or other people who had went to HBCUs prior, it was like there's room for us all, because when you go to a HBCU, especially top one like Howard, you're surrounded by valedictorians. Like, you're not necessarily, you think you come in maybe thinking, oh, I'm the valedictorian, I was prom queen, and I'm this and I'm that. That's great and fine in your small school in Missouri, but you get to Howard, and so is everybody. And then on
yeah.
top of that, they have a Fortune 500 company that they run with their cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just,
On top of valedictorians, they save puppies from burning buildings on Sundays, and they're
literally.
volunteering on Saturdays, and then they also are a junior Olympian. So
Yeah.
compete there. But okay, so I now have another question. You know,
Mm.
my man went to an HBCU, but I'm going to ask
Yes,
you
I do.
this. Are you bringing a non HBCU partner to homecoming?
I don't even know if I would bring a non-Howard grad to homecoming until
Mm.
we're like engaged to be married. I think and it's not like to be on any nefarious behavior or anything
I
like
was like,
that.
oh,
That's
not you trying to not limit your options.
no. And what do you think of me, sister? It's just, I don't want to have to sit and explain every step of the way, like what we're doing and why we're doing it. This is my experience. I'm coming home. Yes, I don't mind sharing it eventually, but like not while we're just dating. Like, I need to know that you're my person, you're a part of my family. Other than that, babe, you can be waiting on me at home.
And I think for me, my partner because my partner went to an HBCU, I think he will be more acclimated. But it's
Mhm.
also my partner specifically, he's pretty shy. So
Mhm.
I think Howard homecomings are so much of a if you know, you know, in in so many aspects. Like if you know this
Mhm.
person, you know them. And like having homecoming is always hugs. Oh my God, hey girl, you're running to the next event. You're just texting your friends. Where are we going? We going to El Rey, we going to U Street. What are we doing? And
Mhm.
so it's so many moving pieces and so much background knowledge that if you didn't have that, I don't know if you would have such a good time. Like, I don't know if it'll
Right.
be the same experience if you're not also coming home, like you mentioned.
And I will also add, like, I've been to Howard homecoming with my friends that didn't go to Howard, and this is just a platonic friend, but I'm like, once Howard people are, when you get together with people who have a familiar experience, you start talking about the old days, and I felt
Mhm.
bad because they're sitting there like, I don't know about Dr. Carr's class, or I wasn't there when that car drove through the annex, and we're just hooting and
Yeah.
hollering, laughing with so many inside jokes. Like, the person I am, I try to overcompensate for people who may not understand, and so doing that the entire weekend would probably grow to get on my nerves a little bit. Or then I would just feel bad she's sitting there looking confused.
And that makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. So for me, it's a similar thing. Like, do I want them to come? Sure. But are they going to have a good experience? I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think dating at an HBCU taught you about yourself? Like, what lessons do you carry from that? And you don't have to get too deep, sister, but just, tell me.
Yeah, one thing the men at Howard taught me is they're gonna choose themselves every time, 10 times over. So I better be doing the same. I need to choose, I need to choose myself 10 times every time over. And if this person isn't serving the need anymore, someone else will. Because again, on HBCU campuses, a lot of the men have the pick of the litter. So yeah,
Mhm.
I very much learned that if somebody was not serving me, it's okay to just let them go. It's really
Mhm.
not that deep.
Yeah. I actually was going to say something similar. Just it's
Mhm.
okay to be selfish in dating. Because one thing about it, in my experience, is everybody was getting what they wanted. And obviously, I don't want to overgeneralize. If you're dating someone like for commitment and that's understood, cool. But I'm talking about when you're just casually dating and you don't really have ties or responsibilities or promises made, have fun. Like it's your life. You have your life. So
Yes.
if that date isn't what you want to do, it's okay to say no. Like, I don't want to go hiking, And so,
Also say in the same vein or the same token, dating at an HBCU taught me that sometimes stuff is just light and fun. Like sometimes the guy you go out with to the cap and y'all hang out and y'all study together, sometimes that's all it is. And that's all it's ever going to be. And that's okay
it's,
too.
it's
Every
okay.
person is not going to be your person. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
people are there to just show you how to have a good time, teach you where a new restaurant is, show you
Mm-hmm.
where the best study spots in the library are, and that was their
Mm-hmm.
purpose. And then you
And
move
that was
on.
it. And then
Yeah.
you go and you take those lessons and you apply it to your man. Yeah,
And you tell your new man the best study spot in our lab. Okay.
exactly. And now he looking at you like, how'd you find this? Maybe don't ask too many questions. Okay. That was funny though. Like we have here playing around. We really had good times though. But now I kind of want to switch gears a little bit and kind of talk about like what Howard, outside of the dating of it all, what Howard did to you. How did it shape you? It didn't just give us a degree. Like we have real life lessons that maybe we learned outside of the classroom. So let's get into that.
Howard gave us so many things, as we all know, and as we just discussed, so many life lessons about relationships. But now it's time to talk about what Howard gave us outside of relationships, just other lessons in general. So now we're cuffed to the culture, guys. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Cuffed to the Culture, the segment that is dedicated to the culture that raised us, shaped us, and continues to influence everything we do. Let's get into it. Howard University's The Lessons We Learned. So
Yeah.
I will say for me, one of the first lessons that I learned, and this is a lesson you learn at an HBCU very early, because we
Mhm.
always do, at least at Howard, there's a freshman week, and that's the week where freshmen are on campus before anyone else. This is where you get acclimated to the campus, you move in, you go to your orientation for your school. Reagan was
Yeah.
in SOC, which is School of Communications. I was in SOB, which is School of
Celebrities.
I was in SOB, which is SOB Money Gang Gang Gang. Um, but in these orientations during that freshman week, typically somebody will get up, and usually it's the president of the school or a dean or something of the sort, and they get
Mhm.
up on the mic and say, "Look to your left, look to your right. All of y'all won't make it." And while that sounds so
Brutal.
morbid and sad and rude, the first lesson it taught me at Howard was everybody I start with is not going to be everybody I finish with. And I think
Mhm.
that was such an important lesson to learn in life because as we did get attached to our classmates, we watched
Yeah.
people leave. We saw
Mhm.
people have to leave, whether that had to do with grades, financial aid, different circumstances. People left, and it's a
Mhm.
sad situation, but it kind of gave me a resilience in life to think about that way. Like everybody that starts next to me is not going to be the person who finishes with me, and I kind of got to run my own race. Like
Mhm.
I can't let what is happening to other people around me impact my path and my journey. So,
That's real. And it's funny you say resilience because for me, one thing Howard taught me early is being strong and resilient. I think the phrase they would say is if the door is closed, climb through the window.
yes.
And as we talk about our peers that unfortunately had to leave for financial aid, that was almost me. Like
Yeah.
if I'm being transparent, I got a scholarship, full ride to Howard, played around a bit too much freshman year and almost lost that scholarship. Like I think the GPA to get renewed was like 3.25. I had 3.24 because I'm over here playing. And I had to get real. I had to get very real with myself. I had to talk to professors, do the extra credit, try to do anything I can to save my scholarship. And ultimately, it worked out for the best. Thank you, Lord. Jesus. I got a couple of grants, but financial aid was looking at me at first and was like, well, there's nothing we can do. No,
Yeah.
ma'am. There's got to be something you could do. I'm so close. Please don't. And then they tried to close the door on me, but I slid through the window. Okay.
Okay. Is
Not
that
playing.
a canon event at H? Well, maybe not. It was a canon event for us because I almost lost my scholarship too. As I
Oh,
mentioned in the previous segment, playing around with a boy. Same thing. I had a
mm,
full tuition scholarship to Howard University. I went on my full tuition scholarship, played around that freshman year, and was at home crying Christmas break. And my mom literally told me, she said, I can't do college for you. So
yeah.
that was what she said out of her mouth. She said, I can't do college for you and I can't afford Howard University. So
Uh-huh.
you got to figure it out. So resilience and a comeback story is
Uh-huh.
100% Howard bred in me. Okay. I'm sure it's in you as well.
My mama said the same thing. I can't afford it.
So
I'm so sorry.
my mom looked at me like, well,
Well, like, play silly games, win silly prizes.
like, yes. I think another lesson I really learned, and I think this is HBCUs across the board, but
Mm-mm.
how you present yourself is how people will treat you. Baby, Howard was a fashion show, okay? Girls,
It ain't him.
hair, nails, eyebrows, and somebody in your dorm is doing it. So it's no
Mm-hmm.
excuse for it to not be done. She's doing it. She's willing to do it in exchange for a plate you cook. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So being at an HBCU and looking good and like and also how it really taught me that like looking good makes you feel good.
Uh-huh.
You go on campus, you present yourself well, you feel good. How you show up in the world is how people will treat you. And Howard taught us that very distinctly, especially in a school of business,
I was
where
about to say.
as freshmen, we had to quite literally come to our like freshman orientation class every
Mm-hmm.
week in a full suit, skirt suit for the ladies, with
Mm-hmm.
pantyhose,
Mm-hmm.
with a pantyhose, with a kitten heel. Okay. Heel couldn't be
Mm-hmm.
too heel couldn't be too high. But there was very much an expectation of presentation and presenting yourself well.
Absolutely. I have to echo that sentiment because Howard does not play about that. Like you have to
Yeah.
business attire is business attire. And so now when I go to events and we're supposed to be in business professional and I'm seeing business casual, I'm clutching my pearls. My
What are you?
literal pearls, the faux string of pearls that my mama got me.
You're wearing khaki pants and it's business professional?
A polo and jeans? Jeans? No, no, absolutely not. Not in my 1867 years. But another thing that comes to mind when I think about how Howard has shaped me and impacted my life is those career fairs. I learned how to
Mm.
do an elevator pitch and present myself like no other. As Nyla mentioned, I was in the School of Communication, so and being in DC, we didn't really have too many entertainment companies that would come.
Yeah.
So when they did, it was a fight to get the attention and a fight to get the internships. So I was able to nail down my Howard intro and elevator pitch really quickly. Who am I, where I'm from, and how I can help you in your organization so quickly. So I think those professional life skills have carried with me from beginning to now where I am. And people always compliment me in my interview because I come in very prepared. I'm making the eye contact. I have examples. I'm not too overly stiff. Like it's a comfortable conversation for me.
Yeah.
And that was things I learned at Howard.
We cannot get into Howard without talking about preparedness, specifically around organizations on Howard's campus. So there were so many. There are business fraternities or professional fraternities that both girls and boys can be in. There's, of course, the D9. There's gospel choir. There's student ambassadors. There's, was it 6-7? That was another group. There was SGA. There was UGSA.
There was elite models.
There was elite models.
They have a documentary on Tubi, and I need to go watch it.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious. Yes. I just pulled it up.
Shout out to you, Elite. But I say all that to say, every organization on Howard's campus was kind of like a if you know, you know type of thing. And what I mean by that is like you had to talk to your peers to get information about joining or being a part of it. But also, you had to come to their events prepared with information, prepared about like knowing who's in the organization, knowing who they are, knowing what they're interested in. Like all of these things matter. And I thought at Howard University when I was there, I was like, this is so mundane. Like, why do I have to do this? But now that I'm in corporate, if I'm trying to connect and get on a new team at my job and I want to talk to the director of the team, I need to know who they are. I need to know what they do. I need to have conversation points ready to sell to them when we're talking. I need to have my elevator pitch ready. And so HBCUs teach you so much preparedness about just being prepared for life. You don't walk into a situation blind. You don't walk into a situation not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
You know?
You always stay ready. Stay ready so you don't have to what?
Get ready.
Boop. Thank you. And for me, I said Howard taught me that you can juggle it. Right. Like you can do multiple things. You can be SGA president, have an internship off campus and earn the 4.0. You can do it. And then at the same time, pop out for First Fridays or Yard Fest or whatever. And then you can still do your makeup on the side. Like there's so much you could do. The sky is really the limit. It was a phenomenal lesson for me. Like, so now I feel like I can have 2 jobs and start a podcast and still party with my friends and have a social life and take care of me because I was so inspired by my peers, colleagues, and we were doing it all at the same time. Like, there's no room for mediocrity. We had to juggle multiple things.
Yes. Another one for me is my HBCU taught me confidence. And if you're confident in what you're saying, you can pretty much sell anything to anyone. So at Howard University School of Business, they quite literally had us doing these formations. When we were presenting to our classmates, formations, doing all this movement, all of these things. My group was called The Plug. We would be like, The Plug, powerful leaders uniting globally. Just silly stuff.
I heard y'all cut the lights off during one of the
we will flicker the lights. We will flicker the lights. Presentation, okay? Even when you think about the pageant people, right? Like, my name is Nyla and I am standing on the platform of Pivot. Like, just so much confidence in, I don't want to say the smallest of things, but like so much confidence in like, these smallest of pageants, these smallest of presentations. This is not like Miss USA. This is the Q pageant on campus. And people are putting hours and hours into their preparation. Hours and hours into how they look. And that was so important to me because truly, if you are confident in what you're saying, you can sell anything to anybody.
Yes.
Okay. You can sell water to a well, baby. And
Hello. Or you can package it up nicely because when you were talking about the pageants, I wanted to shout out the promo videos. Why do we have a promo video for everything and a photo shoot for everything? It's sometimes people would package their things in a very their campaigns in a very nice package and go far with it over the person who maybe had a stronger platform or a stronger campaign, but they weren't really considering the aesthetics or packaged well. And that goes to what you said earlier about people judge you on how you present, not just physically, but if I'm submitting an application and my papers are wrinkled with smudge with coffee, it don't work out. Yeah.
Howard also taught me that I am not always going to win. How you mentioned earlier, like we were at school with all the valedictorians, all the junior Olympians, all the presidents of the debate team. Yes. Howard, I think, was the first place I got told, no, you did not get into this organization or this competition. Like you did not win. Yeah. And that was eye-opening for me. Very eye-opening, but it's just one of those things, iron sharpened iron. It taught me how to handle rejection, and it taught me how to be prepared for the next time when rejection happened and I didn't get
Mhm.
whatever, like the internship or I didn't get into this thing. It kind of taught me how to handle that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sitting here thinking and reflecting in my moments, and I'm like, yeah, I I have to be comfortable and okay with sometimes I won't be selected, and that's okay because everything always comes around and works out in your favor when it's supposed to happen for you.
Another thing HBCUs give you, especially if you are a student coming from a background that doesn't, like, if you're a student coming from a background that is not in corporate, that is not like, my
Mhm.
mom was a teacher. You know what I mean? I grew up with my mom as a teacher. I knew I wanted to be in business just because I'm a boss babe. You already know this girl boss me. But I knew I wanted to be in business. And my mom, nothing like she just didn't know what to do. Like, she's not in
Mhm.
that industry. How would she know? And so I joined Alpha Kappa Psi, which is my business fraternity. So I did that
Mhm.
my sophomore year. I did AKA my junior year,
Mhm.
but I did my business fraternity my sophomore year. And when I say that organization, I can't quite put into words how much they taught me about being a business professional.
Mhm.
And it was such an eye-opening experience because, again, as someone who did not come from a background where a bunch of people were in corporate, a bunch of people were going after and looking for internships, I had no idea about those things and how to do those
Mhm.
things. And a lot of times, if you're at a PWI, and this is just from my experience with talking to people who went to PWIs,
Mhm.
they're not helping you fill that gap. They're not
Right.
telling you you need to be searching for internships the semester before it's supposed to happen. They're not telling you all of the little things and all of the little industry nuance.
Mhm.
That's not just widely known to people who are not in those industries or don't have parents in those industries. And
Yeah.
so what Howard gave me was a peek behind the curtain. They told me
Mhm.
exactly how to go for my goals. You want an internship at this company? You need to be looking it up. You need to be at the career fair. You need to be bringing your resume. You need to be dressed this way. They clearly laid it out to me in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 step plan so that I could go
Mhm.
action on it. I feel like a lot of Black students, especially coming from lower income backgrounds like I came from, don't have the platform. Like, they don't have, or they don't have the platform. They got the plan.
Yeah.
We said it
But don't
before,
have
but
the
they don't have the
platform.
platform. They don't know what to do. And there's just so much nuance around corporate America and navigating these spaces that you don't just
Yeah.
internally know or inherently know. You have to be taught those things. And if your parents aren't in it and you don't know nobody else in it, you're not going to be taught that.
And it's so crazy right now because it feels like you're in my head. I was about to ask, like, how coming from a lower income family, how did you adjust to that at Howard? Because as you were talking about like the corporate and the professional of it all, the bougie Black elites, they move in a different way that I just wasn't privy to. I went to public school. Let's call a spade a spade. I went to public school in a pretty rough neighborhood. Loved my school down. But as far as like social society trainings, I think my mom put me in a
Mm,
cotillion once, and I learned
yeah.
a little bit like of dining etiquette and what fork goes on one
Yeah.
side and that type of thing. But getting to Howard and meeting people in Jack and Jill and just seeing the lifestyle really shaped me so much because it put a fire in me. It made me see, hey, that's possible and I'm coming for it.
Yes.
I can summer in Martha's Vineyard. I can have a beach house in Malibu. Like, I just don't think I saw enough of the Black people in those spaces in real life. Of course, like you see it on TV, but seeing that and meeting my friends' parents who were hanging with President Obama or was his right hand man, like, are you kidding me? It was so inspiring to me.
HBCUs teach you that it's doable and they teach you how to do it. Like, they
Yes.
not only do they say you can do this, they say here's how. Here are the steps.
Hmm.
Here's the network as well. Because
Yeah.
I can be very honest, and I know people, we're both in sororities, and I know how
Hmm.
people get it about Jack and Jill and certain, as we say, elitist organizations, even D9, right? People talk
Right.
about the D9 as
It
elitist
is.
organizations.
And we can call
And
a spade a spade. It is. I don't think there's anything wrong with it to say, as long as we're helping our community back, to me.
and what AKA gave me and the network AKA gave me and
Mhm.
the status to be in certain rooms.
Mhm.
That's what people, and like, these are things that are taboo to talk about within the Black community because
Uh,
we all should be equal. Everyone should have the same opportunities.
right.
Everyone should be able to go do whatever they want to do, but that's not the reality of the world we live in. If you want to get
Yeah.
into certain spaces and you want to climb certain ladders in career, in social status, and all of these things,
Uh-huh.
an HBCU at least for me, an HBCU as a lower income Black person was my path to that. It was
Yes.
my path to being in my business fraternity and learning how to get a job and learning how to get an internship and learning how to navigate corporate. Then
Uh-huh.
being an AKA and learning how to navigate social society and knowing what to say when you go to certain events and what to wear when you go to certain events and
Uh-huh.
how to communicate with people when you want to join certain social clubs. You don't
Yeah.
just join an organization and you're just in. No, you have to network. You have to call people. You
Uh-huh.
have to talk to people. They have to get to know you. And so Howard gives you all of that game. Like it really
Yeah.
does. It gives you all of that game. And that's game I would have never got again coming from a lower income background. And it's game I
Right.
have now. And now I don't want to say my social status is elevated because that sounds weird, but I do think I would not be in the same socioeconomic status if I did not go to Howard. I would not be.
100%. 100% agree. It's all so for all the things you said, I think ultimately the biggest takeaway I get from that is mentorship and the power of just passing knowledge. Let's take away the formal title of mentor, but this is what I did, sis. This is what you can do. To this day, I get LinkedIn DMs and I will go in. And if I see it's an HBCU grad, I'm quick to respond. Hey girl, hey, how are you? How can I help? Here's my number. I know the plight that you've been through. I know that sometimes in life you may be looked at as lesser or less educated because you didn't go to a certain university. So this is my way of lifting as I climb. And that was something that was ingrained in me before. My mom's always said iron sharpens iron, but like it was solidified at Howard because I saw
Yes.
the beauty of it. People I haven't spoken to in years reach out and be like, oh, here, I saw this opportunity. I thought of you. Do you want me to pass along your resume? And that's solely off that Howard connection. I
Come
love that.
on. We love our school so
We love our
much.
school.
Okay, Ray. So do you have any I know we were just getting really deep, but do you
Uh,
have any lighter or like kind of sillier, like, child, my HBCU taught me to clock this immediately? Because for me, the biggest one,
yeah. Uh-huh.
scammers will scam.
Yeah.
A zebra does not change their stripes. And
Mm-mm.
also, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Ain't nobody giving you no
Mhm.
free money. If they're asking if you have a Bank of America checking account, they're probably trying to do something that's not legal. And now
Y'all
your
are
account is
going to
tied up.
jail. And I know people to this day that don't have an account because of somebody in school. Like that's real. Like I just was always so nervous about playing with my financial. Like no, nothing
Yeah.
tied to my money ever.
My biggest flex is all my accounts are active. My Zelle, my Cash App, my Venmo, my PayPal. I can get into anything because nobody scammed me because I wasn't playing those games.
I'm not playing with these people's games. I would say one thing Howard taught me that I take with me to this day: the art of the finesse. The art of the finesse. Like one thing about a Howard student, or I don't know if it's an HBCU thing, but I'm speaking on Howard. They will finesse you, not finesse you like out of money, but they will finesse their way into an event that they don't have tickets to. Like that level of finesse. Like,
Yes.
oh, the event sold out. Bet, let me pull a couple strings. I'm gonna make sure I get in there. Okay, we're gonna move around. And sometimes it was as simple, it wasn't even a full finesse. It was just as simple as just asking, hey, can I cut this line? Or hey, do you have any extra tickets? And I think there's something to be said about just the audacity of it. Like it gave you audacity because what's the worst they can say? No. Whoop-de-doo, just go for it.
Okay. I think too, because we all know HBCU intros. I don't know if other HBCUs have that, but very much.
They do.
Hello, my name is Nyla Roberts. I am a sophomore information systems major from Atlanta, Georgia. And while
By
that
way
was very
of, I love when they used to add by way of.
by way of Kingston, Jamaica, people used to do that. Like, okay, but
Mind you, it's just their grandmama from Kingston, Jamaica. They were born in Dallas, Texas.
but I do love that because even though we're laughing and joking, it's such a cute, like, it's such a light way of remembering who you are, where you come from. Like, my name is
Exactly.
important. Who I am is important. And where I'm from is important.
My name is. Okay. Oh, and then another thing Howard taught me, Baby, I know dances from every region. I know how to shuffle like the Detroit girls. I can hit my Cupid shuffle. I can walk it out with the Atlanta girls. I even used to get, get sturdy?
Yeah. New York?
Yeah. In New York, I really rock or whatever. Or the two-step wiggle, wiggle, bounce,
Yeah.
bounce.
Then the Jersey. Hey, Jersey.
Okay. I still couldn't get the crip walk, and it's funny enough because I live in California now, but the Cali Club really tried to teach me how to do a little something. You not fun fact, Cuff Click. Now I can actually crip walk like she's from Slauson herself. And it's so funny because she busted out randomly at this party in LA, and I'm looking like, oh, that girl going on. Wait a minute. No.
No, we do. And that's so funny because HBCU, you really do learn about Blackness from like every part. Any type of Black is at an HBCU. You want to learn anything culturally about anywhere, every type of Black is an HBCU. Midwestern Black, Southern Black, Northeastern Black, Western Black, Southwestern Black, Jamaican Black, Haitian Black, Nigerian Black. But Alaskan Black. I knew somebody from Alaska.
I didn't even know they had us out there for real.
Same. HBCUs expose you to every piece of Black culture there is that exists anywhere, everywhere. Like, I guess that's another one too. HBCUs kind of teach you that there's somebody for you everywhere. Like, you will always find your tribe if you are being authentically yourself. People always talk about how like, oh, I would see this conversation like, well, I'm this type of Black person. Will I fit in at HBCU? Baby, we had skaters, we had emos, we had the goth kids.
We had a Republican club.
I was gonna say, Republicans. You want to wear a little Sperry? Go ahead.
Go ahead. Another thing HBCU life taught me is how to do my own hair and love my hair. Because like most of the Howard girls, I did the big shop. I think I did mine sophomore year. When did you do your big shop?
I did a couple. I did...
Your first one, though?
First one, junior year. Second one, senior year.
Did you do, like, TWA? Like, how were you wearing it?
Oh, you know me, girl. I had that hair braided up and a closure on. You know how that go.
You know, never mind this. I did my big chop, and I was rocking my little... First of all, let's take a step back. I did a pitsy, okay? I did a pitsy as freshman year, okay? Auntie Ray was in full effect because... But it was cute, though. I loved it. I ate down. And then after that, I did a TWA. And I would be in that dorm room.
What is a TWA?
A teeny-weeny afro.
I never have heard of that.
Cuff Click, please let me know if I'm alone with that. I've seen it. I'll pull up the YouTube. But just short hair. Like, typically right after you big shop, and it's like close
when
to the head. When you
sponging it still?
Very much finger coiling at best. But because I don't have the money to be going to a salon, I'm in there on YouTube learning how. The only thing I couldn't learn how to do was cornrow or braid my hair. But I'm learning how to do a twist out. I'm learning how to, when I have my pixies, slick it back and wave it. Oh, yeah, I didn't fully learn how to do that. But I had to learn. Or I had to be comfortable asking somebody, hey, girl, can you come help me? I'll do your face if you can come do my hair.
Okay. And that, I was going to say, that brings me to another point. HBCU lessons, I'm learning. You have to learn your hustle. Everybody has a hustle. My hustle, I just got jobs. I couldn't do no hair. I couldn't cook. I couldn't do all that stuff. So I just went and got part-time jobs in Georgetown and everything else. But there was nail girls, hair girls, people selling plates out their crib, people doing haircuts out their crib. Lashes was definitely a big one.
Lashes was a huge one.
There was one girl in South. Do you remember Phyllis who used to sell the snacks out her room from Chicago?
Yeah, I knew Phyllis. I still got Phyllis on Facebook. That's my girl.
There was this one girl, y'all, in the co-ed dorm, the sophomore co-ed dorm. And she would absolutely 100% sell snacks out of her room, and everybody went to Phyllis' room. And
like she was baking brownies.
She had a good store. She truly did.
I was there. I saw her a little too much, and that's what I didn't gain a freshman 15. I actually lost a freshman 15, and then I gained a sophomore 10. Okay, it was ridiculous. Another hustle that used to crack me up was like Chipotle runs. Mind you, we went to Howard, and we're here. And Chipotle is right here, but 2 blocks away. People would pay somebody to run and go bring you back some Chipotle. And I'm like,
absolutely.
McDonald's too, Ho Chi, all of these are in walking distance.
of us, but we were lazy, and it was very much DoorDash before DoorDash. But for my
Always.
last question, at least in this segment,
Mm-hmm.
if you could go back and
Mm-hmm.
tell yourself one thing before freshman year at an HBCU, what would it be?
Girl, pick the butts up and put the boys down. No. Honestly, I joke, I laugh, I kid, but I wouldn't trade my Howard experience for anything. If I could go back and tell myself one thing before I left for Howard, it would be enjoy it all, do the work, study, have the internship, run for a student government president, join the dance team, date that boy. Soak it all up, because once you leave those 4 years of perfect bliss, like, the world gets real. Your friends don't live on top, like in the building above you. They live in LA while you're in the Bay. So just soak it up, have fun, and live life.
Yeah.
Live, laugh, love.
Yeah. If I could give myself one piece of advice before freshman year at an HBCU, I would say this is about to change your life and you don't
Mm-hmm.
even know how. Like, you are not even prepared for the person you're going to be leaving this campus, leaving this college. You're not
Mm-hmm.
prepared for the friendships you'll make. You're not prepared for the changes that will happen. You're
Mm-hmm.
not prepared for how your life is about to change so much for the better. So,
Mm-hmm.
girl, buckle up. Like, get ready, because your life is about to change 100%. You do not leave an HBCU campus how you came. And it's
Yeah.
instilled in you for the rest of your life with your
Yeah.
network, your friendships, your career. Every aspect of the rest of your life will be touched by that HBCU. And it's such a beautiful touch. It's so amazing.
Oh, well said, my sister, because I felt every single word. Well, Cup Click, we have talked about them Howard men. We've talked about how Howard has shaped us as women. We've laughed, we've cried, but we need to end this in my favorite way, with a little game night. Are you ready to get into HBCU this or that?
We need to add some sound effects.
We do. Okay, the rules of this game are very simple. You'll give me 5, I'll give you a quick answer back. You'll answer, and then I'll give you 5, and vice versa. So we'll keep it very short. No explanation. HBCU this or that.
Oh, no explanation? Okay.
Little to no. Little to no
Little
explanation.
to no. Okay.
Little to no.
Okay.
HBCU this or that.
Let's get into it. So the first one is HBCU this or that, day party or night party?
Give me the darty every time.
Yeah.
Day party for those that didn't go to Howard.
Yes, day party me as well. HBCU this or that, club party or house party?
House party, easy. I want to go back to house party days, but the walls are sweating.
Yeah, we were young and wild and free at those house party days. But I will say the transition to the club parties, when the clubs used to treat us like we were people going to a soup kitchen, that was nice. So the club,
can you give the people context?
The clubs around Howard University used to have like random kind of like happy hour going to night parties. So like Stadium was a strip club. They would give us free wings and $3 Hennessy. And then some of the other clubs like St. Eve's, they would have open bar for the first hour. So people would just run and chug as many drinks as they could for the rest of the night.
Rose bar too. Yeah.
I did like those kind of like the clubs did used to do that. So that's why I appreciated the clubs. They would leave us, we could leave with a little something. But the house parties were fun. Very sweaty, but fun. Okay. HBCU this or that. And this is less of a this or that, but which D&I and frat party are you going to every time?
I was at the alpha party most times. But they had a house. They had the biggest house, multiple levels. It was fun.
I would say I hung out more with Kappas, but the Qs had some good oil. They knew how to make a drink, boy, did they. And that chicken. They knew how to make some good chicken as well.
The chicken was good. They actually got named on top 10 chapters. Alpha Chapter Bros got named for top 10 chapters of best chicken.
What chicken? Yeah, no, their chicken was very good. Alpha Chapter Bros, shout out to y'all. Y'all can grill quite a bit.
Yes,
y'all get down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't play.
And my last one, HBCU this or that, freshman week or spring fest?
Ooh. Freshman week was definitely fun freshman year and sophomore year, but I'm gonna go with Spring Fest because it was fun all 4 years.
Okay.
It was a time.
I'm gonna go with freshman week just because that's like your introduction. Like, I just remember that's where you kind of first made your friend, like your freshman week friends, and y'all would go out and hang out, rep your city, which was a Howard party where everybody would come and they would, of course, rep wherever they from with their clothes, but then also the DJs would play like a pocket of your music. So like you would hear all Chicago songs, and you would hear all Jersey songs, and you would hear all Atlanta songs. So that
Very
was
much
just so
like
much
that
fun.
scene from Stomp the Yard.
Yeah, pretty much where
he was dissing them, and then he
Yeah.
pulled the girl from Miami.
No, when he did Jamaica and he was whining.
I said, "Not Columbia Short ate that up." Dang.
Yeah. Okay, Ray, it's your turn.
My turn. HBCU This or That, step show or stroll off?
Stroll off. The strolls were just so sexy and fun. Step is like very serious. My line sisters, when they would step in, it was a very serious matter. Let's be clear.
Yeah, very much so. I agree. Even down to the freshman dorm stroll, like it was always just so smooth, and then steppers are all precise and all strict. And I'm like, let's just have fun.
Freshman dorm strolls, what a throwback! Wow, yeah. The quad versus
QUAD. Mind you, I stay in the CHN. Okay, HBCU This or That, cat food or fend for yourself?
Enough, Howard's cat food was not that bad at all.
Shout out to Sodexo.
Okay, especially those Soul Food Thursdays, I'm taking the cat food. It was good. It was good. Yeah. Them cornbread muffins hit every time.
And baby, once I found out about the restaurant, and for a conflict, that was like a literal restaurant in Blackburn, but it's not popular. It's not one of the big dorms. And once I learned about it, I was there.
Blackburn was our CAF too.
Our student center,
Yes.
Okay. HBCU This or That, HBCU homecoming. Actually, scratch that. Howard homecoming or Essence Fest.
Oh,
we've been to both.
We have been to both. Oh, that's so hard because Howard is like nostalgia. Howard is like, I'm with my people. But I could tattoo New Orleans on my forehead. I love New Orleans. That's really tough. How far removed am I from having last gone to homecoming?
Okay, got it.
Skip a couple of years of homecoming and still feel cool. So I'm going to say if this is a marquee year for me, I'm going Howard homecoming. If this is the 10th anniversary of something, whether that's my line crossing or me graduating, I'm going to homecoming. But if it's like an in-between year, I'm 7 years at Howard and 6 years AKA, I'm going to Essence Fest.
I got a messy question. Beyonce is headlining Essence Fest, but it's also your 10 year.
You broke my brain. Tears literally came to my eyes.
Yeah.
My line sister will see me at the. My sisters will see me at the 15th. We got more big anniversaries that'll come up. How often will Beyonce do Essence?
And you know what? You bring a good point.
They'll see me 15, 20, 25. They don't see me. They know my heart.
Oh, that's funny. Nylon's licenses, please chime in the comments. Let us know. Are you forgiving her? Okay. HBCU This or That, a situationship with a frat boy or a party promoter?
Party promoter gets you into more stuff. So party promoter.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that. Party promoter, DJ. Vibe,
and frat, somebody, he probably got a wife at home.
He probably do. Yeah, no. And then she probably in the organization you want to join. You just never know. Just leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Okay. Excuse me. HBCU This or That, HBCU pageant or HBCU student government SGA campaign?
I wanted to do a pageant so bad. And that's one of my regrets that I didn't do a pageant just because I like to talk and I have a pretty talking voice. So that's really it. That's all I wanted to do it for, and put on a dress and look pretty. So yeah, I'm going to go pageant.
Okay. I was a part of Student Government Association, so I'm biased. I'm going to say SGA campaign, which was always so fun to me because we really thought we were on Scandal. Like, Senate used to argue down. Like,
And
about nothing.
and it's so funny because people who were not in that like space, we did not care. I would vote. We voted based on like, for example, like my line sister ended up being vice president. There was like, vote for Mara. She's your line sister. Oh, vote. I'm voting for Mara. Like that was
because
it.
we knew that we would have strategy meetings. Okay, she's an AKA, so we already lost 50 votes.
I love it.
Okay, last one. HBCU this or that. Would you rather attend Howard or another PWI with a full scholarship? And let's say when you're attending Howard, it was no scholarship. So you would have to either take out loans, pay out of pocket, figure it out.
That's tough for me because I did go to Howard on a scholarship. But I will have to say, y'all aren't going to like me for this answer. I'm going Howard. And I'm going Howard because I don't think people realize like you're investing in not only that 4 years of your life, which is supposed to be some of the best 4 years ever, right? Like I look back so fondly at my time at Howard. I couldn't imagine doing it another way. But also you're investing in the network. You're investing in how much they're going to invest in you. Let's be clear about that part, because at least from some of the discourse I hear about PWIs and HBCUs is PWIs don't help you as much with internships, with getting jobs. Like there's not as many resources for the Black students on campus to do those things. So yeah, I feel like an HBCU not only invests in you as much as you're investing in it, but the experience is just, to me, it's worth it. Like it's worth it. My experience was worth it.
But for me, I have to agree. If I had the choice, I would always choose Howard in any lifetime. I think it's worth every penny. Even though their tuition keeps going up, so maybe not say too much. But it was worth it because the lessons I've learned, the woman I am today wouldn't be the same person. The lessons I've learned can't be bought.
And I think too, another thing when we talk about things that can't be bought is like, aside from the job aspect, the development, the friendships, just the friends by itself.
Why would you go there, my people? You mean I wouldn't have my gang?
Like the community alone. And that's one message I would always give. If you're a young Cuff Click, you're deciding between an HBCU or a PWI, I will say, this is where you're going to make the friends that you're going to have for the rest of your life. So think about that too. College friends, a lot of times, are friends you have for the rest of your life. The community you built for the rest of your life. The support system aside from your family for the rest of your life. So think about that too. Who do you want those people to be?
They are your family. Like my Bison family. No matter who you are, what year you graduated. HUUU.
You know.
Thank you. And if you've listened today, Cuff Click, we hope if you're a young Cuff Click listener, you're thinking about an HBCU. If you're thinking about grad school, choose an HBCU. Howard has several to think about. But if you listen today, baby, consider yourself cuffed.
Yes, consider yourself cuffed, and tune in next Monday where we have a new group chat conversation. Bring your homegirl, bring your mama, bring your friends.
Hell, bring your baby daddy. We take them all. We like all listeners. And speaking of listeners, we like all followers. So follow us on socials at Cuffed2, the number 2, the culture on Instagram and TikTok, and at Cuffed, the number 2 culture on Twitter/X.
And if this episode felt like a chat with your homegirls, a chat with your group chat, something you would like to share, please do it. Send it to a friend who needs it. Send it to a young student who's deciding what college they want to go to. Tell them, hit us up. Ask us about our experiences. Send it to a fellow HBCU alum. Send it to whoever you want to send it to, but make sure you send it.
Thank you.
Add them to the Cuff Click, baby.
Bye, guys.